our next tutorial with Photoshop. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to make use of masking techniques as well of refine edge masking. Obviously, we're going to use other techniques such as the technique of the transform tool, the brush setting, and others. As we go along through this tutorial, I will show you how these techniques will combine together to create our fantasy image. But first and foremost, we're going to learn how to be creative. For this tutorial, we're going to use several images. This is one of the images, this face here. Then we will have a backdrop of a paper, a fairy tale house, some clouds, this beautiful bird, and some small birds around. So let's start to create our image, which finally we will end up with this final result. So let's start. Make sure you place the images in their proper place. So layer 1 is going to be the background. Laterly, I'm going to switch it off for the time being and start working on the face of this lady. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put this a little bit apart. I'm going to select the rectangular marquee tool and I'm going to remove the lower part of this image. So it's somewhere here. Once I've selected, I'm going to press delete to remove it. Okay, now I'm going to select the select. I'm going to actually place this a little bit here downwards. And then it's time to remove the upper part of the image. So I'm going to select the magic wand. Make sure that contagious is selected so we do not overlap the white on our polo shirt. Click on the upper part of the white area and press delete. Okay, now select the select. Now maybe you can see that the selection was made clear and there is no traces of white color between the hair, but just to test it out, what I like to do is to create a new layer beneath the selected image and fill it in with black. This will show me that I have still some white areas between the hair. Now, how to remove that? We're going to use the refine edge mask. So I'm going to load the selection by pressing the command key or the control key on the PC. Place my cursor on top of the layer's thumbnail. You can see that the cursor changes into a dotted square with a pointed finger and press your left mouse button. This will load the selection. Once the selection is loaded, I'm going to apply a reveal all mask. Below in the layers panel, we can see this square with a small circle in the middle, which creates our layer, our masking. So once I click on it, the mask is created. Once I have created the mask, I'm going into refine edge masking to start working on this white area which I do not want on the hair. So I'm going to double click on the mask, not on the layer, but on the mask. And this will give me this window here. I'm going to click mask edge. And once I click mask edge, I have my image here and the tools which I can start refining. I'm not going into details through these tools because the end of this tutorial is to blend with mask, but you will see what each tool will serve for. So I'm going to start with the radius. Once I increase the radius, you can see that the whiteness between the hair starts fading out. The adjustment, it's to refine more in detail the edges. So actually, I do not need to increase because it blurs my whiteness, so this is okay. Now we have this decontaminate color brush. Once I tick this, a brush will pop up. I can increase the brush with square brackets, left and right. Left to reduce the size, right to increase the size, and the amount is 50%. If I brush between her hair, I can see that more white is removed. Now I can use also the contrast to make the hairstrays more accurate. This depends. So for me this is enough, more than enough, but we need to pay attention because you can see the hand here. Also, some whiteness has been removed. And this can be adjusted once again with some contrast. and feathering. So now I'm fine with that. I'm going to click OK. Once you click OK, another image will be created with the mask. I do not need the layer below, so I'm going to click on it and press delete. And I'm going to remove the black background also. I do not need the black background. Now I have a neat selection with the hair well selected, and I can start continuing my work. So I'm going to start taking part of the face and exaggerate with the perspective and the scale. So just to make sure that the work is going to be right, I'm going to apply the mask here. So I'm going to click between the image thumbnail and the mask thumbnail, in between, and apply layer mask. And once I've done this, I'm going to select my rectangular marquee tool and select the upper part of her head. You can see on the screen which part I have selected. Edit, copy, not cut, edit, paste. Once I have a copy, I'm going to place it exactly. You can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to be more accurate where it was before. Once I have the right image, I'm going to zoom in so I can see better my image. You can see layer 7 is the part that I have copied. Now I'm going to edit, transform, scale, and I'm going to scale this up. And I'm going to right click into the transform tool and use also the perspective to widen up a little bit the upper part. Once I'm ready, I'm going to accept the transformation, Command 0 or Control 0 to be back in place. I'm going to zoom in a little bit in her head to see that here it's everything well blended, and that's how it seems to be. The other part will be the eyes. So I'm going to start with the left eye, so this time it's not a rectangular but an elliptical marquee tool. I'm going to select part of her eye, edit, copy. Okay, this is for me is because I'm not on the right layer, so here I'm on the right layer now. Edit, copy, edit, paste. Have the eye here. Once again, I'm going to my transformation tool, edit, transform, scale. I'm going to scale the eye pressing the shift key, so it will scale proportionally. And I'm going to widen up this eye here. Accept the transformation. Same thing with the other eye. So I'm going to the elliptical marquee tool, select the eye, edit, make sure you are on the face layer, otherwise it won't select. So edit, copy, edit, paste. Once again, edit, transform, scale, and we're going to scale this eye from the top and from the bottom, and accept the transformation. I'm going to merge down both eyes because they're not going to move from where they are. So I'm going to press my Command or Control key on PC, select both layers and right click, merge layers. I'm going to zoom in, and we need to start blending these eyes to make them actually be part of the face, because right now we have some edges and they show that they are cut out. So I'm going to apply a reveal all mask. Make sure you're on the right layer, and from down here below, the same what we've done previously, click on this box with the circle and apply a reveal all mask. We can see that it's a reveal all mask because the mask has a white content. Now we need to start hiding the areas that we do not want. To hide, we need to select the opposite color. So this is white. To hide, we need to make sure that on our foreground we have the black color. Select the brush and always make sure that the hardness of the brush is 0. And it has a soft edge. So once you have a hardness of 0%, a soft edge will be of this brush. Once we are ready, we can start hiding the area. We can reduce the size of the brush with the square brackets. Left square bracket reduces the size, right square bracket increases the size. So we are going to hide the areas which we do not want. And also on the other side. Okay, so now we have our eyes well in place. The last part will be the lips. So we're going to select the lips, make sure you are back on the face layer. Again, an elliptical marquee tool, I'm going to select the lips here, edit, copy, edit, paste. And here are the lips. I'm going to also increase the transformation and the transform scale, and also from top to bottom. Accept the transformation. Again, we're going to apply a mask, reveal all masks, so make sure the foreground is black. Make sure always you are on the mask, not on the thumbnail. You can see that the border shows on which thumbnail you are. So make sure you are on the mask, pick up the brush and start hiding the areas which you do not want to be visible to make this blend much better. Okay, Command C, Command 0, sorry, Control 0. So we have our first part, the character, ready. Now, once this are ready, we can merge down all the bits and pieces that make up this fantasy character. So I'm going to select them all, right click, merge layers. Now it's time to start placing the other images. We're going to start with the house. I'm going to place the house somewhere here. Sorry. Make sure you're on the house and move it on top here. I'm going to reduce a little bit the opacity so I can actually see where to place our house. I'm going to use the transform tool. So I'm going to edit, transform, scale. I'm going to scale it a little bit down. And I'm going to use the perspective tool. So to give a perspective that's coming out of her hair. Accept the transformation. Actually, I'm going also to reduce the size of her face. So I'm going to edit, transform, and scale. And then I'm going to place the house here. Going back to my opacity, full, and going to apply a mask also here. So I'm going to click on the reveal all mask again with the brush and start hiding the areas which I do not want to be visible as much as possible. There's no need to be accurately selection, just remove some areas. We'll be working on that later on. So I'm going to zoom in, so make sure I'm removing the right areas. Now if you by mistake hide certain areas that you do not want to hide, just flip the color and brush over again where you would like to reveal the area. I'm going to remove certain areas. I'm going to place the house more on top of her hair. And I'm going to use the brush to hide these areas here. So it makes the house actually coming out of her hair. And the house is done. Command 0, Control 0 to see the actual image. The next image will be the sky. We have some clouds here. And I'm going to place the clouds underneath the house and underneath the face to make sure that it's part of the background. I'm going to apply some mask just to remove this part here. I do not want straight lines to appear on my image. So I'm going to apply a mask once again, pick up the brush, just hide the areas, so to make the sky infinite. Once I'm ready, it's time to add the other bits and pieces. The bird, I'm going to reduce the size of this bird, so edit, transform, scale, press the shift key and scale down. There's no need to hide or apply a mask because this bird has a transparency, it's a PNG file. I'm going to rotate it we can keep it as it is on top of the house here. Apply the transformation. Then we have some birds that will fly over. We need to remove the white background, so we're going to pick up the magic wand, make sure you are on the right layer, click on the white background, just press delete and remove the selection. Select. We can place our birds on the upper right corner. So we have the image. Now it's time to make some refining on the colors. The first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to make this face look more like a drawing rather than a photo. So I'm going to duplicate the image, right click, duplicate layer. I'm going to keep everything as default here, okay? And I'm going to filter, blur, and apply a surface blur. I can reduce by pressing the minus here to zoom out, so I can see actually my zooming. I think I'm going to keep the settings as they are, radius 15 pixels and threshold 19 levels. Click OK. Now once I have applied the surface blur, I want to remove it from certain areas. For example, I want to remove the surface blur from the eyes to achieve more effect on the reflection of her eye, the eyebrows and the hair actually, and also the lips. So I'm going to apply a mask on the surface blur filter photo, apply it here, apply a mask, and with the brush I'm going to hide the eye. So actually I'm going to remove the blur, and this will enhance more the reflections and the details of her eyes and her lips. So I'm going only to keep the surface blur on her skin, rather on the hair and the other parts of her face. Okay, so we removed the surface blur. Now we have a better, more details on her hair, on her eyes, and on her lips. Command 0, Control 0 on the PC, so we can see the full view. Now I can merge down layer 7 copy and layer 7 by pressing the command or Control key. I'm going to select both layers, right click, and merge layers. Once this is done, I'm going to use the camera raw filter to enhance a little bit the colors. So I'm going to filter, camera raw filter, and I'm going to add some blacks. I'm going to reduce a little bit the clarity, not so much, more vibrance for the colors, and a little bit less of saturation to balance down up. I'm going to increase the shadows and decrease the value of the shadows and the whites, and increase the contrast. You can see this while you are playing with these settings, how the image will see. So actually it's by trial and error. There's nothing set. Click OK once you are happy with the result, and we can continue with our thing. So I'm going to use the burn tool to start enhancing some shadowings, for example on the clouds. So I'm going to make sure I'm on the clouds layer here. And I'm going to repeat some enhancement of the shadows on the house, as well as on the rest of the images, such as the birds. Once I'm ready, I'm going to merge down all the images except the last one, which is actually the paper, the base. We will see how to apply everything on this base paper. So I'm going to select the cloud image, the face, the house, the bird, and the birds. Once I've selected all, I'm going to right click and merge down layers. Once the layers are merged down, I'm going to switch on the last image, which is the background actually. And we need to put everything on the paper. So make sure you are on the layer which we have just merged down. Go to Edit, Transform, and Scale. Press the Shift key, pick up a corner, and start reducing the size. So make sure that everything is going to fit on the paper. Don't worry about this part of the clouds, we will adjust with the mask. Once this is done, we will have actually this result. Just select and apply the selection. Apply a mask on layer 5 And with the brush, we're going to hide areas which we do not need. So we're going to remove the edges and to make it sort of it's part of the paper. Once we are ready, we can actually, this can be removed, it's the sample we've made previously. We start the final refinings to apply some cinematic color. So first we need to crop to get rid of this transparency area. So from the toolbox we have this crop tool here. You can see that once you click on it, we are in the crop environment. Just pick up the handles and place them at the very edge of the white background. Once they are ready, just accept the cropping. To make the cinematic color, we're going to duplicate the image, so right click, duplicate layer, click OK. Change this into a desaturate or grayscale image by going to Image, Adjustments, and Desaturate. Apply an overlay blending layer, so from the drop down menu here, apply overlay, reduce a little bit the opacity, say to 70, and last, a filter. So from the adjustment layers, the circle, half white, half gray, select the photo filter, and we can apply a deep red, or you can choose other type of filters. There are plenty of filters, emerald, so that can suit your image. So this is the final result. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. See you for the next tutorial.